Hello, everyone. It's the top of the hour and we're ready to begin. My name is Karen Berger, and I would like to welcome you to CASAS National News and Updates webinar. Just a few items about this webinar. We ask that you would use the Q&A for any questions you might have about this webinar and the content in it. If you're having technical difficulties, use the chat. We will also use the chat to post links for you during the presentations. Our PowerPoint is already posted on the website, and Christine has put that in the chat as well, and the recording will be posted by February 14th. Before we go over the webinar, I'm going to do a quick calendar check about our assessments. So as you know, or many of you should know, our Reading Steps series have been approved, and they are approved through 2030 and ready for use in your program. You want to make sure you check with your state assessment policy before you begin using them. Many of you are probably still using the Life and Work series, and they are approved through June 30th. But as of July 1, you must make that transition, and we are here to help you make that transition. So please feel free to reach out to us for any guidance in making the transition from Life and Work to STEPS. Also for ABE, our Math Goals 2 series was approved. I highly encourage you to get started using that as soon as you're able, again, checking with your state assessment policy. However, the current Math Goals series is still approved through June 30th of 2024. And then finally, our Reading Goals series is approved through March of 2025. I apologize for the error on that slide. So it's through March of 2025. We are field testing for the new reading goals too, so no worries. This is not expiring next month, and it will be approved, and there will be a sunset period. So through June of 2025, we are currently field testing the new series. I'll talk about that a little bit later in this webinar. And now I'll turn it over to Laura for the agenda.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. At today's webinar, we'd like to introduce the idea of letting CASAS be your compass. In the world of adult education, we often refer to the adult learner as being on a pathway or a journey, and that journey isn't always a straightforward one. From low literacy to job readiness, CASAS provides assessments and reports to help students and teachers navigate that journey. As you can see from today's agenda, we're going to be sharing more about the interconnectedness of our new assessment series and how local programs might use CASAS along the breadth and scope of the whole student journey, including career technical education and job readiness. So we're going to start with test development and research updates. We have a promising practice presentation. We'll talk a little bit about the CASAS teacher portal. We're getting a sneak peek at CASAS eWORKs. And then, of course, at the end, we'll have some important reminders. So historically, I'm going to set the table here. Historically, adult educators have been called upon to help individuals reskill to meet the labor needs of the day. Whether it be from economic downturns or global conflicts, adult educators have been a part of the workforce development system. And today is no different. We see from the headlines of the day that there are labor shortages. This is a cute little video that we wanted to share from Working Nation. It's called the Slope of the Curve video. We're not going to play it for you, but we wanted it to be embedded in our presentation today, because it's a great little animation of how work has changed from the Stone Age to the present day. And we know that this is a great little tool to share with your students in case they have questions about why the increased rigor for the new CASAS series. So if we look at, as I mentioned, adult ed is part of the efforts to reskill. And if we look at the headlines of today, we see that this one says, Understanding America's Labor Shortage, the Most Impacted Industries. Here's another headline that says, Manufacturing Faces Potential Labor Shortages Due to Skill Gaps. So we know there's labor shortage, and the question is, how do we equip our students to bridge that skills gap? The good news is that adult education in CASAS supports that pipeline of workers to fill these gaps. So let's begin with a look at those students who may just be beginning their adult education journey, those with emerging English language skills. Karen is going to share an updated CASAS student intake guide.
Thank you, Laura. So I'm very happy to announce that we have updated the intake screening guidelines to align with the STEP series. So that is available for you on the website to download, and Christine will be putting a link in the chat there so you can see the entire document. This slide shows a graphic that is also included in the document that shows you the entire process on one page. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for you as your program to have an intake process that includes screening, especially for these low-level learners that are many may be new immigrants and may not even have any literacy skills in their own language. So after your initial interview, you can use this intake screening guide to determine whether or not you can place them in a test using a locator and e-test, or if you might need to dig a little deeper to see what point they are in being ready for that type of an assessment. So after that initial interview, you would give an oral screening, and from there you may or may not give a reading and or writing screening. As you know, our learners are not always at the same level in each modality, meaning they may be able to read but not be able to speak, or their listening skills may not be aligned with their writing skills. So in order to implement this, we have nice pictures and we have little quizzes that you give with your students through these different screening processes and a way to score them so that at the end you can determine if maybe they just need some more instruction before they even take a test, or perhaps you can give them a level A test. One thing I'd like to point out with this new STEP series is that it is permissible to use the Level A test as a consumable paper test booklet with students circling answers in the test booklet. Or you may use a touchscreen device for low-level learners on e-tests. But nonetheless, so you might like to have a set of Level A test booklets available, even if you use e-tests, just so you are prepared for some of these learners that may not be able to navigate on the e-test application. And so now I'll turn it back over to Daniel Esco.
Thanks, Karen. So now I'm going to move to our CASAS assessments and talk about them in relation to all of that context that Laura and Karen provided for us. So underlying any assessment are the standards that describes skills associated with levels of ability. So the college and career readiness standards and the English language proficiency standards are the official standards that are adopted by the U.S. Department of Ed for the NRS. So many things align to and grow from these standards, including curriculum and assessment. So the CASAS goals and STEP series are no exception. And these tests assess the skills described by both sets of standards, the English language proficiency standards for STEPs and the college and career readiness standards for goals. And they provide information about students' abilities as they progress across levels and towards their various goals. So these standards describe the knowledge and skills that both ABE and ESL adult learners need to possess in the areas of English language arts and literacy and mathematics as they prepare for post-secondary education, technical training programs, citizenship, and careers. Since CASAS assessments align to these standards, the tests are assessing different skills that are necessary to prepare students for success, not only in school, but in the workplace as well. So many of you may already be using our new Math Goals 2 assessments, and these have been updated to address even more skills necessary for success in a variety of industries. Here are just two examples that target important workplace skills. The first question here requiring basic computation, and the second requiring the interpretation and advanced analysis of graphs and trends. So these math skills are assessed in context so that students can show their abilities in a much more authentic way. Additionally, both reading goals and reading steps assess students' ability to read and comprehend texts, both at beginning and advanced levels that individuals will likely encounter in a variety of work contexts as well. So here are 2 samples, and in the first we have a checklist for a workplace with some basic instructions. Test takers are asked questions about what the checklist is for, as well as details of the specific instructions. The other sample item is an example of a test question assessing the understanding of information contained within an email. And both of these skills are necessary for workplace success at varying levels. So how does this translate for programs around the country? So there are a number of ways that test results can be used to indicate workforce readiness. So CASAS test reports themselves provide information about the reading or math skills being assessed through our content standard reports. Student proficiency in using these skills in different contexts is provided through the competency and task area reports. So these reports can help to inform strengths, gaps, and focus areas for students or for entire classes. So besides these test reports, local programs can also develop cut scores that relate to local career and technical education programs. So all in all, there are a variety of ways to utilize the results of the test to inform workforce development initiatives and programs, going beyond just educational goals. So now I'd like to turn this back to Laura and Karen, who are going to lead everyone through a poll. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Daniel. So in honor of next week's Valentine holiday, we thought we'd give our poll a Valentine theme, and it's about partnerships. So here's the question. Which of these conversation hearts, and Karen's going to explain each of the hearts, best represents your partnership at your local program and with community partners?
Thanks, Laura. So yes, so are you besties with your partners? Meaning you have great relationships and you're working together and things are working out well. Or perhaps you're single but ready to mingle, meaning you haven't really got anything started yet, but you'd really like to. Maybe you're just not sure how. Perhaps first date, you're just getting started and figuring things out. You may be a wallflower and have no idea where to begin, and you're kind of shy and you like maybe just to soon stay to yourself. Or do you have a broken heart, meaning that you tried and things just aren't working out right now? So we're going to show you a poll. There'll be 2 questions that ask the same question, one about your partnerships in your local program, and then another with community partners. So please answer the poll on the screen. I'm launching it now, and you can use the scroll bar to scroll down to see all of the questions.
So yeah, just want to highlight the first one is about within your school community. How well are you partnering? Is your ESL program partnering with your ABE program? You guys working together across programs? Maybe not. Choose best heart.
So we've got a lot of great results coming in, but we're going to give you a little time since there are 2 questions, and we do have some big numbers here of attending.
See a lot of besties. That's really great news.
It really is.
Partnerships, yes.
Give you just a little bit more time. We have about 64% of you have participated, so get in there and put in your vote.
Okay, shall we close it up, Karen?
Yes, so we're going to end the poll and then we'll share the results. So I'm ending the poll now. And now I'm going to share the results with you. So you can look and see, or you want to talk them through the results?
Sure. So this is within your program areas. This is great news. 67% of you feel like you're really doing a great job of collaborating across programs within your local program. We know that sometimes you can get siloed. So this is really great to see that. So we have so many besties, and at least, if not besties, willing to go on a first date, willing to partner across programs. Sad to see those broken hearts and wallflowers. Will hopefully see a better result for your partnership with your community. So should we take a look at the other
Just go ahead
slide?
and scroll down.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, thank you. So for the this is a question about how are you partnering with community members. So not as many besties, but still a great attitude and hope to be partnering across programs. So hopefully, and with our community members, so hopefully after our promising practice today, you'll have some ideas on how you might be reaching out to partner with your community members.
So I'm going to stop sharing the results, but all of you, in order to see the rest of the screen, you'll want to close that red box at the top right of your poll window so you can see the presentation. And we'll move on to our promising practice.
Okay, great. So I'm going to be introducing our promising practice from Yolanda Flores. I just wanted to say I had the pleasure and honor of attending the Miami-Dade Elite Conference last month with today's promising practice presenter, Yolanda Flores, where the superintendent of schools for Miami-Dade Unified School District, Dr. Dotres, publicly thanked and recognized her as his adult education mentor and a passionate leader, advocate, and innovator in adult education. And she didn't even work for Miami-Dade. She is the former director for adult and career education at Collier County School District in Florida, and the current executive director for Workforce-Wise Solutions. So welcome, Yolanda Flores.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you for that great introduction, and to the CASAS team for allowing me to be here today and share the story of how Collier County it decided to align their assessments for our workforce education programs. But before I go on, I do have to say Dr. Dotres, who's the superintendent for Miami-Dade Schools, he is a big supporter of adult education. He is a product of it since his parents, as Cuban refugees, came to Miami and they enrolled in adult ed program. And he credits adult ed programs for the success that his mother went on to have in a career, and then also for his success. Because when our parents are educated, then it makes for the children to be better educated as well. So again, he is a big supporter of adult ed. So Collier County, Florida, in case you don't know, we're on the Gulf of Mexico, and geographically, land-wise, we are a large county, but a medium-sized district, and where we serve approximately 4,000 adult students in our workforce programs. So when I talk about workforce education, of course, we're speaking about English for speakers of other languages, adult basic education, general education development, and the career certificate programs. Now, in Collier County, we have 2 technical colleges that offer certificate programs, and they also have adult education programs on their campus. And then we have a separate adult education school that functions as a school, but has 8 sites across the districts, many of them evening programs located at our high schools, as well as a full-time program at our Collier County jail. So in addition to our adult ed programs, of course, certificate programs such as welding, manufacturing, aviation, practical nursing. In total, we have about 35 career certificate programs. And the majority of the students who are enrolled in workforce ed programs are not in CTE. They're in adult education programs, with the largest number being our English for speakers of other languages. So we do have a very large population. So in the next slide, when I first became the administrative director for our Collier County workforce ed programs. When it came to our ESOL and then our ABE, GED, and our certificate programs, we were using 3 different assessments. So basically going in different ways. However, there was a need because Florida had passed some legislation that now individuals that were graduating from a Florida public high school after 2007 no longer had to take an assessment to be able to enter post-secondary. So in looking at the CTE data, I discovered the majority of the people that were taking our assessments to come into our CTE programs were individuals that had been served in our adult ed program. So we were not aligned. So yet our programs have a common goal, and that is to make sure that our students are college and career ready so that they can have choices and they can continue onto the world of work and further the post-secondary education. Our ESOL students, that's what we preach to them when they first join us, right? It's not just about learning English, but what are you going to do afterwards? So in Florida, students entering career certificate programs demonstrate that they are college and career ready in numerous ways, including being able to take the CASAS goals reading and math assessments. And both tests are approved by the Florida Department of Education as assessments that are aligned with the state's commitment to prepare individuals for success in the workforce and post-secondary educational pursuits. So one of the things that makes it easy in Florida is that our Florida Department of Education has grade level equivalence that students must demonstrate before graduating from the CTE programs. So they are responsible for determining the cut scores, the grade equivalence, and then they provide it to the workforce education providers throughout the states. So this chart shows how the math goals is broken down by levels and then the range and the grade level. So this kind of breakdown is important not only for our teachers, but also for our students, because they understand grade level equivalency. They don't necessarily understand cut scores. So on the next screen, it's a similar one, and it's for reading. So in Florida, we only need to assess students in math and reading for anyone that's enrolling in ABE, GED, or the career certificate programs. So CASAS goals is a perfect assessment for meeting those needs. So ultimately, what was our rationale for aligning our assessments? Well, first of all, most of the students served in our workforce education programs are ESOL students. With the emphasis then on integrated education and training, we started seeing an increase in the number of students transitioning from our adult education programs into career certificate programs. So in looking at the data, about 25% of our students either had a current adult ed or a previous adult education enrollment in their history. So by us transitioning to one provider of assessments, it was good for students because it provided them with a structured assessment framework, starting from ESOL all the way through their career certificate programs. Other benefits, of course, standardization. A single test publisher offers a standardized system that aligns with, of course, education or industry standards. And I can't wait until the workforce readiness assessments are released because that'll be another layer. This standardization simplifies the administration and interpretation of assessments, of course, making it easier for both our test takers as well as the individuals who are administering these tests to understand and navigate the testing process. There's also efficiency in training. Instead of having to train staff on 3 different assessments, now we only have to train them in one area, in one assessment. So of course, it makes it more efficient. And the reporting system, not having to go to multiple sites to be able to pull the reports, and then also all staff being able to understand the reports starting from our ESOL instructors all the way to our career certificate instructors, and of course, our advising staff who use the data in order to advise students as they're enrolling in career certificate programs. The streamlining of the training processes also saves times and resources. And we know as the price of everything goes up, everyone's looking to save money. So when you're streamlining processes, it's going to save you time, which in turn equals money that your programs can save. And then your staff becomes also more familiar and proficient with a single set of testing procedures as opposed to multiple testing procedures. So it saves time, and also then our lining assessments across our workforce education programs was a good thing for our programs, our teachers, but ultimately it was a good thing for our students. So I think that was one of the best decisions that I made while I was in Collier County, and hopefully they're able to take it to the next level with the release of the new assessments from CASAS. So thank you so much, and if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Yolanda, for sharing your expertise with everyone today. And this is the perfect segue, as she said, to talk a little bit about eWORKs assessment. So I'd like to introduce our new CASAS program specialist, Paul Kratzer. He's a former adult education teacher, data manager, and WIOA navigator. So as a WIOA navigator, he was co-located at an adult school and a one-stop center. And so we believe he's perfectly suited to provide us with a sneak peek at CASAS eWORKs. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you, Laura. Hello, everybody. My name is Paul Kratzer, and I am excited to be able to give you a sneak peek at CASAS eWORKs. As you might imagine, CASAS eWORKs is all about employability. It's about helping our students become more employable than they are now. It's about work readiness skills. It's about reading and math skills and soft skills. It's about assessing our students or job seekers' current skills and developing them to help them to become more job ready. Now, you might be asking, why soft skills? Well, basically, the basic answer is because that's what business is. That's what employers are asking about. We have a couple of quotes here that just say it perfectly. From the U.S. Department of Labor, according to business leaders, while the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, are still fundamental to every employee's ability to do the job, employers view soft skills as even more important to work readiness. These skills include professionalism or work ethic, oral and written communication skills, teamwork and collaboration skills, critical thinking or problem-solving skills, networking, and enthusiasm. And this quote from Forbes, as more and more job activities become automated, soft skills, which cannot yet be replicated by machines, have become more important. Deloitte has reported that soft skills intensive occupations will account for 2/3 of all jobs by 2030, and that hiring employees with more soft skills could increase revenue by more than $90,000. So now you might be wondering, how does CASAS eWORKs work? How does CASAS eWORKs assess and develop soft skills? Well, basically, we use video scenarios. We use videos of real life workplace situations, and the student is asked to choose the best action to take and the worst action to take in that situation. And in this way, we can see what the student's soft skills levels are. So now one more question I'd like us to think about is, what makes CASAS eWORKs different? How is CASAS eWORKs distinguished? Why should we choose CASAS eWORKs? Well, if you're using CASAS e-tests already, you're already giving reading tests or math tests, your students don't need to take any other reading or math tests. You just add on CASAS eWORKs. It's integrated into the teacher portal and the student portal. Also, these are objective soft skills assessments. This isn't where the student can choose his or her own strengths and weaknesses. These are not subjective personality tests. These are research-based and industry-validated objective soft skills assessments. Also, CASAS eWORKs includes a short business needs survey that you can use to engage employers in your community. You might use them alongside your Title I partners to engage employers in your community so that you can learn what employers are looking for and so that you can match the skills of your students with the employer's needs. And finally, CASAS eWORKs is affordable and curriculum is included. So these are some great reasons to choose CASAS eWORKs. And that is the end of my sneak peek. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your enthusiasm with that. We can tell you really love the CASAS eWORKs. So looking forward to hearing more about that. I'd also like to take this time to introduce yet another new CASAS program specialist, Carla Gallegillos. Did I mention that CASAS is growing? Because we have another new program specialist. Carla is a former adult education teacher, data manager, and ESL curriculum developer. She's also a former English language learner and a great creative addition to the CASAS team. You're going to find out why. Welcome, Carla, to talk about Teacher Portal.
Thank you, Laura. Yes, CASAS not only keeps growing, but let me tell you, it keeps innovating. That is why we invite you to utilize the tools we have created to help your programs grow and succeed. Now, I want to invite you to sit back and enjoy this fun, high-action trailer. Take it away. It's coming, I promise. All right, adult ed leaders, or should I say super adult ed leaders, give me a thumbs up or a clap if you liked the trailer. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. We'll keep making more of these for you. Now, stay with me for the next 2 minutes if you want to get an easy and quick explanation of this user-friendly tool. Now, first and foremost, as we can see on this next slide, the message is clear. Teachers want access to their students' instructional reports. Students want immediate feedback after taking a test. Agency directors want improved outcomes. We got you. Here at CASAS, we are attentive and responsive to the needs of the field. Hence, we have launched this web-based tool called the Teacher Portal that gives instructors, now listen carefully, direct and immediate access to reports to facilitate data-driven and personalized instruction that, as you know, research tells us, leads to improved outcomes. Now, if I have sparked your interest just a bit, you won't want to miss out on one of the most important training events in your professional career, happening on Friday, February 23rd, as you could see on the previous slide, at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Please mark your calendars, adult ed leaders, right here. Aster has put that QR code for you to take a picture and make sure that you register for this training. Of course, as we can see on that next slide, you can also visit us during our regular CASAS office hours. And most importantly, we want you to come to dedicated sessions during our upcoming CASAS Summer Institute. Thank you for being such a great audience. Now take it away, Karen.
Thanks, Carla. That's just great news. So just to look at WTUs versus TEUs, and the reason we put this here is because WTUs and TEUs are, they determine what your access is to TOPS Pro Enterprise. So everyone who's using eTest automatically has a subscription to TOPS Pro Enterprise, our interrelational database from which we can look at our test results and also generate reports for our students. However, both packages of TE are compatible with LACES, and but these test units have, if they are the basic test units, you can only generate student level reports. If you have enhanced units, TEUs, you are able to create classes, and then you can generate class level and agency level reports, and also federal reports. All of these are really great ways to analyze your data and able to ensure that your teachers can inform their instruction and know the areas where they need to focus. In addition, both CASAS eWORKs and Teacher Portal are only available for customers who are using TEUs, not WTUs. So I'd like you to consider making this switch. The price point is not all that different, and we are happy to convert your existing WTUs to TEUs. So if you're interested in making this switch, you can email golive@casas.org and they will help you make that switch. Also want to put a little pitch for our tech support team because they're always so willing to help you. And sometimes things go wrong, and sometimes you really don't know why they've gone wrong. So if you have a problem, you can always call our tech support team at this number listed below, selecting option 2 from the menu. However, one of the things that helps our tech support team the most is if you can email them with screenshots and descriptions. That way, our specialists, although they all have very vast knowledge, will make sure the right person gets back with you. They also are willing to schedule a time with you if you need some more detailed information, and they can Zoom with you and work through some of your issues that you have. So don't hesitate to call tech support. And when your computer is not feeling well, and maybe your internet speed is slow and your e-test freeze, it's not a bad idea to have some paper tests in the back as a backup. We have heard from our customers that those who have a set of paper tests, even though e-test was not working for them, they were ready to test at least the students that were there in the room. They could quickly pivot to a paper test booklet. So with that, I will turn it over to Astrid, who's going to give us a training update.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Karen. I don't know about you, but this has been quite an exciting news and updates webinar. And I'm bringing up the tail here with some training updates. So one of the questions that we get very often at the info desk, at the training desk is, where are my certificates? I know I finished the course. I know I did this training, but I can't find my certificate. So I want to just kind of go over that a little bit. When you complete a training module, we have that information saved in our database. You can only download the certificate, though, during the program year in which you earned that training, you finished that training. So we don't keep them past the program year. However, that's not to say that, you know, your training information is gone. We keep real good track of that. But that's why we urge you, when you finish that training module and that PDF of your training certificate pops up, we really urge you to download that PDF, save it to your computer, print out a copy, just so you have it at your fingertips. If you want to check out your training history, you can do that. You log into the teacher homepage as it shows, or the CASAS homepage as it shows here. Click on your name. After you've logged in, your name will be up there with a welcome. Click on your name. And your user profile will open up. If you scroll down, your complete training history is right there at the bottom, and you can see that you can print that, so you have a copy of it. You can also edit your profile, you can change your password, you can view your training history, you can print that. You can also opt in for our email blast that we send out, and we don't sell your lists, and we don't send you many things very often, but we do send you updates when there's something important, like time to register for the Summer Institute or information about the next news and update webinar. So that's there if you have it, and I included screenshots so you can refer back to them. And while you're on the training page, we invite you to check out our new release, which is a new module that details our new steps and goals too. I know that as the spring is moving along, some of you who haven't implemented the new test series yet are gearing up to do so. This would be a nice way to kind of get your arms around what makes these test series different and the nuts and bolts behind them. So we do invite you, there's tickets here, but it's free. Just have to log in. We do invite you to take a look at that. And while we're doing the multimedia extravaganza today, this is hot off the press. We have very, very close to releasing our updated interactive multimedia new eTest Proctor certification training. Now, if this isn't going to be something new that you have to do if you already have that eTest Proctor certification, but when the time comes to recertify, this will likely be the new training module that you will go through. It's exciting, it's interactive, it's multimedia. It will be available soon, so stay tuned. We're just about ready to go live with it, but I promise it'll be worth the wait. Okay, with that, I am going to turn it over to Christine Maines to keep the excitement going with some info about Summer Institute.
Thank you, Astrid. I'm excited about the new eTest Proctor training. And speaking of training, Summer Institute will be here before we know it. Our National Institute 2024 webpage is up and ready for your viewing pleasure, sticking with that movie theme. We are excited to announce that we'll be gathering Monday, June 17th through Thursday, June 20th. And all of those sessions will be offered as usual throughout the conference. We'll have a combination of virtual on Monday, and then Tuesday through Thursday, we'll offer all kinds of sessions. There will be workshops. There will be promising practices like we saw Yolanda here today. Just want to note that there will be no hybrid sessions this year, so you can register for either in-person or virtual. And let's see, if you note the beautiful scenery, you can't miss it. We'll be at the Hyatt Regency, Orange County. So be sure to book through the link on our website. Our room block often sells out, so if you have an inkling that you will be registering for Summer Institute and you're just waiting on funding, we really recommend that you go ahead and get that reservation as soon as possible. And I'm going to post that link in the chat as well. This is the conference hotel link. So about some of the sessions, a little more detail. As you can see from all the presenters today, the theme is we are growing and we are moving with SI, not an exception there. We'd like to highlight just a few. We, of course, will be having several series focused on the new approved test series, Steps and Goals 2. We'll take some deep dives on topics and panel discussions. We'll have some celebrations. We'll dig into ELPs. We will also have sessions on the teacher portal that was mentioned, the new student portal. Of course, as is trending with technology as it changes, AI. We will also be looking at ChatGPT sessions. So we're making changes and staying with it. We have implementation training, tech labs, and a bunch of other sessions confirmed on that agenda online. And of course, as Paul Kratzer mentioned, we'll have several sessions about the CASAS eWORKs program, which we're super excited about. So more sessions will be added as they're confirmed. So please be sure to continue to bookmark that agenda page and check and see all the changes. The technology and implementation training schedules are already posted. There's also a guidance doc about the different sessions that'll be offered. So what makes CASAS Summer Institute different? Well, last year we had over 1,400 people from our CASAS collective. So from over 40 states and countries represented, state directors, program coordinators, proctors, teachers, all met to discuss the current trends in adult education, of course. And one of the, I think, unique features of the CASAS SI, at least from our perspective, is that it is really an opportunity for us to grapple with some of those issues that we are grappling with and we don't always have time during the regular program year. The pace of the conference clips along, as you know, so another unique feature is that we offer receptions and we also provide meals as a courtesy. And the food is fantastic and we have vegetarian and vegan options as well. And then because we all work hard, we also offer complimentary fitness classes for varying levels of rigor, just for your choice to find some of that balance. So as far as registration, we're open and ready to take your registration today. There are 2 ways you can participate at Summer Institute. Of course, join us in person at Orange County to fully experience those tech labs with hands-on practice and meet with folks face-to-face. You can also register virtual and participate in a variety of online sessions that are topic-based. We're also excited to announce that we're partnering with Disneyland this year for a special package. And those details about the special are posted on our website. An important note, you have to be registered for Summer Institute first before you click on that link and get your Disney tickets. So make your plans this week. And then when the store opens for Disney, it'll be posted on the community section of the Our Whova app. And speaking of our Whova app, we will be using the conference app again this year with Whova. Attendees are required to use that Whova app to access our conference information. And in-person attendees should download that Whova app to your mobile devices so you can keep checking your agendas. And that's posted on the Summer Institute webpage as well. So you'll want to log in using the same email address that you used to register with. That's super important, or you won't see your tech labs. Conference app will open sometime this month, and until then, you can check out the agenda on our webpage, and I'm going to post that in the chat as well. We're super excited about Summer Institute. I'll see you there on the dance floor. I'd like to turn it over to show you these beautiful faces that we met last year. And they are just a few of our smiling faces and colleagues that we have a good time with. I may be biased. SI is gathering some of the best energy and talent in adult education, and we hope that you can join us. One of our folks shared a beautiful quote last year, and we are sharing it with you here. So join us this summer. It's going to be an unforgettable summer again. Lots of fun learning experiences, and sometimes we have little breakout dance parties in the hallway. So I'd like to introduce Karen Berger, who's going to talk to you a little bit more. Thank you.
Thanks, Christine. Can't wait for Summer Institute. So I hope to see a lot of you there. So kind of have a hodgepodge here to talk about a few other news. So the first thing I'd like to discuss is the we have a new catalog. And if you scan that QR code, you can see it right away. It's we've shortened it. We've made it much simpler to understand, easier to read. It does include the new test series, and in honor of our beloved trees, we are no longer printing the catalog. It is only available online. There's that interactive online that you have that QR code to, but you can also go to our website and download a PDF. All you need to do is go to www.casas.org and you can find that catalog there. But again, you can get there if you scan this QR code. I'd also like to talk to you about field testing. As you know, this is part of our ongoing development and improvement and alignment of our assessments. We are always in the process of creating new assessments to keep them relevant for all adult learners. And our current field testing is for reading goals. The students just love those gift cards, and it's really a great opportunity for them to practice and for you guys to get a sneak peek at the new assessments that are coming up. So very briefly, we're just doing that reading goals field testing now through June 30th. It's for all levels of ABE, ASC, and whatever other initials you have for your learners who are not ESL learners. We really are looking for test pairs. That's the biggest part of our final form studies, so that we can show that our tests are valid for pre and post. And for that reason, if a student completes one field test, they do get a $15 gift card. But because we want that paired test, if they complete 2 field tests, they get a $40 gift card. In addition, non-funded California programs and all other programs will get 100 complimentary WTUs or TEUs just for participating. If you email fieldtesting@casas.org, I can send you more information on how you could get started with this. So we didn't mention Form 27 and 28, but going back to that new intake screening, the previous intake screening included using Form 27 and 28. And as you saw, it's part of the Life and Work series. And so these forms will not be available for reporting purposes after July 1. So I just want to remind you that the STEPS Level A test may be administered as a consumable paper test, with students circling answers in the test booklet. Another great reason to have a supply of some paper tests available, even if you are using e-tests primarily for your program. We also recommend that a touchscreen device can be used for low-level learners on e-tests. And so, in addition, a lot of people ask us, oh, what curriculum can I use? How do I teach? Yeah, we've got great reports, we have great assessments, and we are just happy that CASAS is partnered with Burlington English, with Aztec, and Essential Education, and they're working very hard and are continually updating. You can use CASAS test results and use these applications to develop learning plans for your students. Although we wouldn't recommend you use this exclusively, they could do a lot with Burlington English, Aztec, or Essential Ed between class or just as part of their classwork. So don't forget to connect with our partners. You've got some really great resources there to assist you in your instruction in the classroom. And then I'll turn it back over to Laura.
Great, thanks, Karen. Just want to remind you all, we have our next webinar on April 17th, 2024. We really are so happy to be able to provide you with these news and updates webinars. We hope that you're finding the information helpful, that you sense our enthusiasm and passion to serve you and support you as you support students along their student journey, as we said at the beginning. We invite you to think about us as your compass. Let CASAS be your compass to help guide the student journey. And we're going to be leaving with you in honor of Valentine's Day, a song by Barbara Streisand. Let's go to the next slide. Thank you, everybody. We're going to leave you with My Funny Valentine. Thanks, everyone.
Funny Valentine.
Have a great